catfishing from Santee.
Perfect Lake Hartwell hybrid.
This week's destination is brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet, finding new roads in the outdoors. Today's Chevrolet destination features another great hunting destination that you can find more information about by going to Bob's Top 16 at www.bobredfern.com. And be sure to check out all the award-winning Chevrolet vehicles at Chevrolet.com for your next outdoor destination.
Welcome to this week's show. This is part 2 from H.Cooper Black, the field trial facility up in Cheraw, South Carolina. It's a state park facility designed specifically for field trials. And I tell you what, I've got a lot of guests this week in this show. We're back here field trialing it because I tell you what, the EB Club of the Carolinas, the French Brittany Club, one of their very own, and the guy that does all the photographer, but he also has a championship winner. And you saw the dog on last week's show, Ty, and his owner is right here. That's Jimmy Cobb. And Jimmy, I want to congratulate you again on Ty's winning back in your pre-event here in March. Tell me a little bit about the backstory on Ty and just how excited you are about his performance.
Well, I looked for a dog with the breeding that I wanted, and I found that with Jackie Hutwagner of Hanahatchee Kennels. I gave Ty 2 years between tying the bird, no training. Then at the 2-year mark, I sent him to Clint LaFerry at Sir DeLevin Kennels for his training. Did a hunting season, sent him back for another couple months of training, then we went out to Montana, and Ty was the top dog 3 out of 4 runs, got his trotter title. So
wow.
Things are rolling right along.
Well, and how old is Ty?
Ty is 3.
Is 3. Wow, I know you're proud of him. And I will tell you, you just saw the variances from our show last week where you've got the open competition, very particular, and then the gun dog competition, which is more of a kind of a hunting dog as opposed to what Ty and you've trained him to do. But, you know, I will tell you, I know it's a special award, and I know you guys have got a great club here. You guys put your heart and soul, and you all are volunteers.
Right. Everybody's volunteers. A lot of time goes into putting on a trial and a lot of hours, and everybody has to pitch in. And we got a great, great group of people.
Well, Jimmy, it's been an honor and a privilege to have you on our show and having Ty here doing what Ty does best. And I know he does what he does as well as you do what you do, taking all the pictures for the club, because I tell you what, the documentation that you provide with all of these great events for your club is just, it's priceless. And
I appreciate that. And thank you guys for coming out.
Oh, listen, I enjoy this so much. And with that, yeah, we're looking forward to the rest of the runs in this week's show. But, you know, folks, I tell you what, up here at H.Cooper Black in Cheraw, South Carolina, I've got a special guest. We're going to have some more dogs be running in some solo runs today. We're going to talk to some more judges. But before I close this show out, I've got a very, very special friend of mine and a special guest. And we're going to talk specifically about this wonderful place here in South Carolina. We call it the gem of field trials right here. And I'm going to introduce the guy that was responsible for building this facility. So with that, when we come back, we're going to be back in the field with some judges, and we're going to have some more dogs. And I tell you what, right here on Bob Redfern's Outdoor Magazine.
Nestled in the western part of South Carolina is the Old 96 District. Comprised of Abbeville, Edgefield, Greenwood, Laurens, and McCormick counties, this region is rich in history, fishing, hunting, and small-town flavor. Old 96 District is part of the South Carolina freshwater coast, covering over 2,000 miles of shoreline, which offer many fishing opportunities and is home to the only wild turkey museum in the world. Local businesses offer a wide variety of unique gifts and foods. Make sure you discover the undiscovered wonders of the Old 96 District of South Carolina.
Want to know the difference between power bait and other soft plastics? Ask the fish. Berkeley scientists have thousands of flavors tested on thousands of fish. Natural, man-made, every bait that's ever hit the water. And no matter the shape, size, or color, power bait is the only one that is scientifically proven. Fish bite and will not let go.
Here's a reminder from South Carolina DNR. Whenever you're out deer hunting, make sure you have an international orange vest and hat. Remember, safe hunting's no accident.
This has been another safety hunting tip from South Carolina DNR. Southern Woods Plantation. The name itself conjures up images of a time gone by. A time of towering pines, mule-drawn wagons, and covey after covey of bobwhite quail. Southern Woods Plantation has been chosen as one of the top 6 hunting destinations in America. They offer great hunting, comfortable lodging, wonderful food, and world-class dogs. Southern Woods Plantation, where the past can still be experienced today.
If you are going to be towing a tuber, skier, or wakeboarder, remember your boat has to be equipped with a wide-angle mirror or a responsible observer.
This has been another safety tip from the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Bob Redfern's Outdoor Magazine is being brought to you by these great partners. Chevrolet. Find new roads with Chevrolet. By the South Carolina Agriculture Department. It's a matter of taste. By the old 96th District of South Carolina. Come discover the unexpected wonders of South Carolina's 96th District. And by South Carolina Embroidery and Screen Printing, your one stop for all your company's promotional needs.
Well, folks, listen, we're getting ready to do our solo run on this week's show. Again, we're here at H.Cooper Black, the field trial facility, and I got to introduce, now you saw Don Clements. He was on our show last week to start it out with. We've now turned him into spokesperson. He is now put on his judge's hat, and he's going to walk along with us, and we're going to judge Grover, who's Trey Dantzler's dog from Lebanon, South Carolina. Okay, and then of course you met my assistant gunner last week from Hartsville, South Carolina, Joseph Kelly, and so this dog is a tricolor.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
So one of the brands, or I say breeds, that's allowed in the French Brittany family.
Right. In the French Brittany world, tricolors are allowed. Black is allowed as a color in the French Brittany, as a French Brittany characteristic versus American Brittany's.
I got you. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Well, Judge. Here we go. Okay. And it's all about Grover now.
Right.
All right. Here we go. All right, Gunner. I'll take the left, you take the right. Okay?
So, Trey, thank you for coming out and being with us today. We appreciate it very much.
Yes,
it's
sir.
a pleasure to have you. Always is. This is Grover of Tricolor. Do you have any questions?
Just tell me when to turn him loose.
Yes, sir. Your course is left side of the field here, over to the pine tree line on the other right side.
Okay.
The course is yours whenever you're ready.
Come on.
Looks like we've got a point here.
All right, gunners.
Okay. Gunner's got to beware here.
Come on up with it.
There we go.
Good shot.
Well,
Good shot.
it didn't,
Now, gunners, if you'll come back here.
the bird didn't make it that easy. Okay, let me go back here. Joseph, mine and your job ain't been the easiest today here, huh? I'm telling you. You know, I think Don did this to us directly, you know.
That's right.
Yeah,
He has a way of doing that.
he
That's
does,
right.
don't he?
All right, leash him up.
Now, what are your thoughts on that one, Don?
Grover pays close attention to the handler. He works largely in front of the handler, back and forth. He's checking in with him regularly. That's what I like to see in the dog. He's adjusting to the terrain. The terrain here is kind of tight and close. The sitting conditions aren't great. So he was working close. Some dogs will run way off and you'll miss birds that way. But
Right.
you know, and then Grover would get the scent, and then he would kind of work to pin the bird. So I think he had a good run.
Now, how I have to ask you, I know it's obvious to you, but how do you keep mental notes? Do you physically have a pad that you talk about as you run through each? How many during a normal field trial like this weekend, how many dogs will you see as a judge?
So it depends largely on the field trial, but for example, for this weekend, we have 35 dogs. So we've got 20 dogs running in the gun class, which is the class that Grover was running in. And then we'll split those into 2 groups. And so when when I'm watching 10 dogs, they go one right after the other.
Right.
And 15 to 25 minutes is the time frame it takes to do each dog. So you do the math, you're going to be in the field for a while.
Right.
And so we have judges' books. And there's a couple of different ways. Everybody has their own sort of standard. I like to see the dog's gait. I like to look at some of because if I'm going to see 10 dogs run, I want to make sure I'm paying really close attention, because the difference between one dog passing or placing might be that dog's gait is closer to the standard than another dog who had an equally good run from a pointing and retrieving perspective.
Well, differences in where the birds are placed. Do you guys change that up on the course? Or does a dog particularly will get an open field with broom sage, and then they get a chance to do this like we did today? Is that how you change it up?
Well, H.Cooper Black is unique in many ways from my perspective as a person who lives in Georgia, in that there's not a lot of opportunities to hunt pine savannas. And so our entire field trial will be, limited to the pine savannas, because they have enough room here for us to run 35 dogs and never be on the same ground twice.
I got you.
And
Okay.
so it's a really beautiful facility for that, and we appreciate it.
Well done. Okay. Trey, well done, man, out of Lebanon. And Grover, you did good. And folks, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to have a young lady out of Florida who's going to run her dog on another solo run with us. And tell you what, it's actually going to be something that you won't want to miss.
South Carolina's Santee Cooper Country invites you to relax and get away from the pressures of everyday life from world-class fishing, golf, camping, or lakeside dining on traditional Southern cuisine. With over 450 miles of shoreline, Santee Cooper is an exciting challenge for fishing, canoeing, and kayaking, offering unique outdoor adventures for the whole family. Santee Cooper Country. Discover the natural wonders of South Carolina's Great Lakes. To receive a free newsletter and e-news, just log on at santeecoopercountry.org.
It's still the night shift, just brighter. Still a traffic jam, just better views. Still making an entrance, just turning more heads. Still your to-do list, just getting more done. Still packing up, just a little easier. The Chevy Silverado, making life's journey just better.
Southern Woods Plantation. The name itself conjures up images of a time gone by. A time of towering pines, mule-drawn wagons, and covey after covey of bobwhite quail. Southern Woods Plantation has been chosen as one of the top 6 hunting destinations in America. They offer great hunting, comfortable lodging, wonderful food, and world-class dogs. Southern Woods Plantation, where the past can still be experienced today. The Sportsman's Table is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Agriculture. Whether you live in South Carolina or coming to vacation, make sure you're purchasing South Carolina-grown farm products. Make sure your food is South Carolina certified. It's a matter of taste.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Sportsman's Table. We're here at Phillips Market at the South Carolina Farmers Market in Columbia, South Carolina. And joining me today is Angela Covington with Manchester Quail Farms. She's got a great recipe today, and y'all need to pay attention. If you love quail, I tell you what, you're gonna really like this one. Sweet potatoes, quail, I tell you what, honey, yeah, okay. Well, and just to get started here, I know you've already pre-fried up some quail breasts here.
Yes.
And we've got those, but what we're really building is this biscuit, okay?
Biscuit.
I can't wait, so let's get started.
So the biscuit is a fairly easy, simple recipe.
Yeah.
I switched and I got the sweet potato mix by Adlu Flour right here in South Carolina. And it's just 2 ingredients. I tried to do it on my own and another chef had suggested this, and so there we go.
There you go,
So
okay.
They make all sorts of good stuff. We
Adlu
use
does
their
good,
grits.
there you go, okay. So,
So-
you've got the biscuits.
We do. We already have one cooked, and we're gonna put the fried quail in there. But we made some honey butter, so it's just equal parts honey, equal parts unsweetened, unsalted butter.
Oh, that's okay.
And so we're just gonna take our biscuit while it's hot, and then we're gonna smear that on there. Nice
wow.
little one.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do the bottom side too.
Okay.
And you know, we don't count calories on this because we always know butter makes it better. And if you use local honey with butter, you know, then you don't feel so guilty.
It's even better, that's right.
That's right. So then we'll just take, which one you like better, that one or that one?
Either one, you pick.
Let's go with this one.
Okay.
Got a good little bit of color, good little crunch.
Yeah.
And put that on there and put it off to the side. You can make a whole tray of these if you're doing some quail gating.
Yeah, well, you've already got
And
me,
then-
my plate's
There we
already
go.
made here.
And just for a little extra stickiness and goodness. That's-
Angela, I tell you what, you're right. These are awesome. I mean, what a great sandwich on the go. I mean, tailgating for a party. I mean, listen, Manchester quail.
We say quail gating.
Ah, there you go, quailgating. There you go. Well, I tell you what, you've got some great products there. And folks, I tell you what, it's always a pleasure to have this young lady on here because I tell you what, she does such a great job with all these variety of menus. It's just wonderful. Thank you for being a guest on the show.
Thank you, Mel. I appreciate
you're
it.
welcome. And folks, remember, as always, it's a matter of taste. Log on to certifiedsc.com and see what's fresh on the menu. We'll be right back here again next week with another great recipe on the Sportsman's Table.
To find out more information on supporting local South Carolina farmers and their products, visit certifiedsc.com. It's a matter of taste. Welcome to Upcountry, South Carolina. Discover the 6 counties in Upcountry, South Carolina that run from metropolitan cities with fine dining and cultural events to pristine natural beauty and all the adventure that goes with it. From hiking, rafting, to some of the best fishing in the Southeast. 6 counties, 1 state, a million opportunities. Upcountry, South Carolina. Perfectly seasoned.
It's still the night shift, just brighter. Still a traffic jam, just better views. Still making an entrance, just turning more heads. Still your to-do list, just getting more done. Still packing up, just a little easier. The Chevy Silverado, making life's journey just better.
Bob Redfern's Outdoor Magazine is being brought to you today by these great partners. By the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, making life better in the outdoors of South Carolina. By Berkeley. Berkeley, your fish, our science. By Upcountry South Carolina. Upcountry South Carolina, perfectly seasoned. By Southern Woods Plantation, offering the best quail hunting in the Southeast. And by Santee Cooper Country. Discover the natural wonders of South Carolina's Great Lakes.
Well, our final solo run this week is going to be done by Amanda McNett. She is from Bradenton, Florida, and I tell you what, she's got an exciting dog. Rebuy, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. And you all have met on our previous week's show, Sherry Nicer, and she is from Bismarck, North Dakota. And of course, my gunner over there on the right from Hartsville, again, has been a mainstay. I'm telling you, I don't know what I'd have done without him, and that's Joseph Kelly. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the judge, and let's get started.
Okay, Amanda, whenever you're ready, you can let your dog go. We want to see a nice hunt out front. Do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
Now, which is harder, in your eyes, which is harder to judge?
Gun dog.
The gun dog?
There's a lot more gray,
Yeah,
and so there's no gray area in open.
I got you.
They either do it or they don't.
Ah. Now,
But this is exciting.
yeah, well, I mean, and you know, and that's what we're trying to show here. I'll have to safety that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's what we do.
Yeah. Oh well. Well. Safeties are okay, even in real hunting, okay? There'd be another bird for another day. Well, Sherry, you know, what I want to show in this week's show is it's not always perfect, okay? They are animals, okay? Although highly trained, there's a lot of things that go into the workings of a bird dog, okay?
That's
and
right.
a lot of it is the scent conditions, it's the weather. And again, folks, I'm not trying to make excuses, but whether you're hunting in the field or you're doing field trials, okay, there's always those variables out there that are going to happen. And I've seen champion bird dogs and other field trials and stuff, but tell me about what you guys do when you get that sort of situation. I mean, we had a couple of points, okay, the birds were there and they were gone.
So this dog has great point. It's got great nose. It's got a nice search. We did have a nice point, and I could have scored it because the bird moved and then the dog moved. So that was not a problem. But because of the position of the dog and the bird and the landscape, you didn't have a safe shot.
Right.
So you made the right choice and called a safety. And so what we would do if this dog was in contention for a placement is we would set up a retrieve for that dog.
I got you.
Because we have already seen it run in the field, we've already seen it point, and all I need to do is see a retrieve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and I tell you what, I know it makes trainers and owners like Amanda feel good that they're still into contention because, again, I know other field trials, it's, if it didn't go well, you're done.
Yeah.
And, you know, and again, that's not what this is all about. I mean, it's about folks that want to get into the sport and enjoy the alongside their dog. And so
Yeah.
I think that makes a difference.
I do too, and the gun dog class is really where it's at right now. It's growing dramatically. We're seeing a lot of well-trained gun dogs, and and there's so much more fun because the handlers are still wanting to learn stuff. They're not old crusty professional trainers.
There you go.
They're really
with gray
a lot of
hair
fun.
like me.
And me.
Yeah. Well, Amanda, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming up here. Give me the old bump there, and
Thanks for showing us your dog.
you bet.
It
And
was fun. That
so-
was one of the more stylish points I think he's had.
well,
too,
good.
so
Yeah, it was. It was awesome. Okay. Well, folks, stay tuned. When we come back, I'm going to have a special guest before we close this week's show out here from H.Cooper Black up in Cheraw. And I tell you what, you know, thank you for coming and doing the judging. It's been
I'm
awesome.
so glad to be here, and I'm glad to have met you.
Well, at least it's not snowing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, there you go. North Dakota, probably not so much.
It's 6 degrees.
There you go. Okay. All right, y'all ready to go back to the buggy? All right, let's go. Well, folks, listen, we've had an awesome time here at Cooper Black Field Trial Facility here with the French Brittany Club of the Carolinas. And I tell you what, their annual field trial event, it's just been very special. But I tell you what, before I leave this week's show, there's very one important guest that I want to introduce you to. And I think it's really befitting. He's a good friend of mine. He's been a friend of mine for over 15 years. And it's Buddy Jennings. He's the former director of the South Carolina Parks, Rec, and Tourism Agency here in South Carolina. He's a Clemson graduate. He's an engineer. And I will tell you, the reason that I wanted him to be on this show today is because he is the guy that was responsible to build this field trial facility here, which is one of the premier field trial facilities in the United States. Anyway, Buddy, you're a great friend of our show.
Yeah.
I have you on there. I know you love bird hunting.
I do.
I just tell you. But I want to tell you how exciting it was that I had remembered from some of our 15 years of conversations that you were responsible for this piece we call field trial facility here in South Carolina. So tell me a little bit about how did this come about?
Well, responsible may not be the right word because I really give credit to Dr. Cooper Black and to Governor Carroll Campbell. And the way it came about was Governor Campbell called me into his office one day and he had Dr. Black there. He had Jim Timmerman from DNR and he had Hugh Ryan from State Forestry Commission. And he said, let me tell you what we're going to do. He didn't ask. He said, this is what we're going to do. And he looked at Hugh Ryan. He said, you're going to put up the property. He looked at Jim Timmerman and said, you're going to do the technical assistance with the dogs and the birds. And he said, buddy, you're going to build a place. And so that's basically how it came about. I mean, the three agencies worked together. And this was in probably late 1980s, 1988, something like that. And it just turned out to be a great facility.
Well, Buddy, I have to ask you, okay, from start to finish, what was the time frame that you had in order to get it done?
Well, we didn't have any pressure. We didn't have a lot of money. We had less than $500,000 to work with. So he had also created, Governor Campbell had also created the Sporting Dogs Commission, and he had appointed a gentleman by the name of Jim Sigmund who owned Little Hobcall. And so Jim Sigmund brought his equipment up here. And with volunteers and with the little bit of money we had, we all worked together. It took about 3 years.
Wow. You know, I'll have to tell you, in modern day times of 2021, 22, do you think anything like that would ever happen again like this?
I doubt it. I mean, we had a lot of opposition. You know, people didn't understand what field trials were about, didn't understand what a huge economic impact it is for the community, because folks come here from all over the country. And they bring great dogs and they stay for weeks at a time, and it's just a tremendous facility to have.
Well, with that, folks, that's all we got from H. Cooper Black here in Cheraw, South Carolina. The field trial, well, I tell you what, it really worked out very well. Maybe we can talk about the winners sometime next year on Bob Redfern's Outdoor Magazine, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing the judging. I want to thank Don Clements, who kind of put it all together from the French Brittany Club of the Carolinas, and all the folks that made our visit possible. And with that, the outdoors is my passion. I want it to be yours too. We'll see you right back here again next week on another episode of Bob Redfern's Outdoor Magazine.